Good morning, students. In this video, I am going to explain about energy band gap. So, our first experiment is calculating the energy band gap of a semiconductor using a PN junction diode. So, before going to discuss about this experiment, we will recollect the definitions of energy band gap. So, as we already know, these solids are classified into the three types. Those are conductors, insulators, and semiconductors. So, depends on the energy band gap or forbidden band gap. These materials are classified into the three types. Those are these conductors, insulators, and the semiconductors. These conductors are having overlapped position of conduction band and the valency band, and the availability of free electrons is high. If you go for the insulators, these energy band gap or the forbidden band gap is high. So the electrons cannot able to move from valency band to conduction band. Then there is no conductivity in case of the insulators. The forbidden band gap is high. If you go for the semiconductors, the forbidden band gap is uh, it changes with the temperature. These semiconductors are having the two types of nature. At low temperatures, it behaves as the insulators. At high temperatures, these semiconductors behaves as the conductors. So at the low temperatures, these semiconductors having the forbidden band gap is high. So the electrons cannot able to move from valency band to conduction band. So in this situation, those materials are silicon and germanium is classified as the insulators. As the temperature increases, slowly the electrons gains the energy. The forbidden band gap will be reduced by moving the electrons from valency band to conduction band. So from this discussion, we can understand that this forbidden band gap or energy band gap of a semiconductor depends on temperature, and it also depends on the conductivity and the resistivity factors. So, as the temperature changes for a semiconductor, its conductivity changes, its forbidden band gap also or energy band gap also changes. So, depends on the temperature, conductivity changes and the energy band gap also changes. So, to measure the energy band gap of a semiconductor, we can use this relation by changing the temperature by calculating the voltage and current. As I already told, depends on the temperature of semiconductor, conductivity, resistivity properties also changes. So by changing the temperature, we can measure the current and the voltage. From that, by that relations, we can apply using a basic formula. We can calculate the energy band gap. Let us go for the experiment. The main aim of the experiment is we have to we have to calculate the energy band gap of a semiconductor using a PN junction diode. So using a semiconductor, as we already know, PN junction diode is made up of a semiconductor materials. So using that materials, we have to calculate the energy band gap. So here we are using, I think, silicon material. In our lab we are having silicon PN junction diode. Using that silicon PN junction diode or semiconductor material, by heating that at different temperatures, we need to calculate the energy band gap of a that silicon material. So for that we are using this apparatus. Those apparatus are junction diode, PN junction diode, and second one is the inbuilt oven, means it's a heater. So to change the temperature and to heat that diode, we are using a oven or heater. And next one is the power supply. Next one is the voltmeter, ammeter, and thermometer. As we already know, so to start this heater, we need the power supply. By changing the temperature, we can calculate the current and voltage changes. That using this voltmeter and ammeter. Ammeter is used to measure the temperature, sorry, current changes, current measurement. Voltmeter is for the voltage measurement. Thermometer is for the temperature measurement. So the main formula we are using here. Using the resistance, we can calculate energy band gap because there is a relation between the resistance and the energy gap. As we already know, there is a relation between the conductivity and the energy band gap. In the same way, reciprocal of conductivity gives us the resistivity. Here, this relation represents the resistance is related to the energy band gap. That is, resistance at the temperature T is equal to resistance at the temperature 0 e power Eg upon 2kT. This formula is a basic fundamental formula of semiconductors used to understand the changes in the energy band gap with the changes in the resistance by varying the temperature. So here, to simplify this formula, we are using this applying the logarithm on both sides. So ln RT is equal to Eg upon 2k 1 upon T plus ln RT 0. From this we can write the formula in which Eg as the subject. So the RT is the resistance at the temperature T kelvins, Eg is the energy band gap of semiconductor, K is the Boltzmann constant. So the main procedure of this uh, experiment is, so we have to take a kit or board, switch the board and insert the thermometer inside the board, space provided on the training board, and now switch on the oven using a knob and adjust the temperature towards high rising, so oven temperature rises to the 85 degrees, and now fix the voltages at 0.5 volts, 1 volt and 1.5 volts. Keeping the voltage same, note the current corresponding change the temperature in the range of 5 degrees or 10 degrees centigrade. Plot the graph between the resistance at the temperature T versus temperature. So we have to do the only step by step procedure we have to understand. We have to take the circuit board in which the built-in woven junction diode and voltmeter, ammeter and thermometer is placed. We have to take that board and we have to insert the thermometer already present in that board, and we have to switch on the knob, heater knob, and we have to increase the temperature of particular heater. When you heat the heater, it will raise the temperature of the diode. Both are interlinked, and when the we have to fix the voltage at the 0.5 volts in first case, and in the second case we have to fix the voltage at 1 volt, and in the third case we have to fix the voltage at the 1.5 volts. For every voltage we have to increase the temperature up to 85 degrees centigrades or 90 degrees centigrades, and after that we have to switch off the heater knob. We have to switch off the heater knob and we have to note down the readings of the changes in the current for the particular decrease of temperature of the 10 degrees centigrades. So when we switch off the knob, the temperature is already raised to the 90 degrees. Slowly it will, we know that heat energy always flows from higher region to the higher temperature region to lower temperature region. So with that the temperature slowly decreases for that particular diode. So we have to note down the current for the particular 5 degrees slow down in the temperature. When the 5 degrees temperature will fall down, then at that particular temperature we have to note down the reading of the current. So at 90 degrees centigrade we have to note down the current I, and after that we have to note down the current at 85 degrees centigrades, and after that we have to note down the current at 80 degrees, and after that we have to note down the current at 75 degrees, and after that we have to note down the current at 70, 65, 60, 55, 50 and 45, 40. Like that we have to note down the reading till 45 degrees centigrade to draw the graph, and we have to take the graph by following the table. We will go for the tabular column. So this is the tabular column and we have to follow. This is the temperature changes in the first column. The second column is this is in we are measuring the temperature changes using the thermometer in degree centigrade. So this is in degree centigrade, convert into the kelvins, and after that we have to reciprocal of reciprocal of temperature, and after that we have to note down the current for the particular temperature changes that is 85 degrees, particular 85 degrees centigrade we have to note down the current I. For 80 degrees centigrade we have to note down the current I2, I3, I4, I5 like that, and RT. So we know that Ohm's law. So you please observe this column of this tabular column. We know the Ohm's law. We know current and we know the voltage. Because voltage is fixed here, voltage is already known value. The current readings we are taking from the ammeter, so from that we can calculate the resistance at that particular temperature by taking the ratio of voltage upon current from the Ohm's law. So voltage is already 0.5 volts. We can take the current from this particular temperature, so we can calculate resistance at 85 degrees centigrade. In the same way we can calculate at resistance at 80 by taking the ratio of voltage already fixed value 0.5 upon current value, which is measured from thermometer ammeter. So by taking that ratio we can calculate the resistance at that particular temperature. So when you calculate the resistance at particular temperature, we can take the ln RT. So by applying the logarithm function or ln function on resistance at this before column, we can get the ln RT values. So by taking this ln RT, so we need to we need to plot a graph between ln RT and temperature. So ln RT on x-axis one reciprocal of temperature on y-axis. Then we can calculate the slope of these two will gives us. So this is the final formula we are going to use, which is derived from the previous fundamental formulas, that is energy band gap is equal to 2 into Boltzmann constant into slope. M is nothing but slope of the graph. That graph can be drawn from the last column of the this last column of the tabular column, that is lnRT is on x-axis and 1 by t on y-axis. By taking the graph between these fourth column and the last column, we can draw a particular graph. That graph slope represents the slope m. That slope is nothing but y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. By taking that slope reading from the graph, we can substitute in the formula. The formula is energy band gap is equal to 2 into Boltzmann constant into slope. 2 here is 2 into Boltzmann constant is a fixed value, 1.38 into 10 power minus 23, and after that slope value is taken from the graph. That graph can be drawn from the last column of this tabular column and the temperature values. So this will gives us a graph for the particular 0.5 volts. So if you go for the changes in the voltage, so the voltage is changed to the 1.5 volts. The voltage is changed to the 1.5 volts. Then what will happen if the voltage changes, then the resistance values and the current values also changes. So again the same process, we have to first heat the heater. We have to first heat the diode using the heater till 85 degrees centigrades. After that switch off the heater knob, and when you switch off the heater knob, then what will happen, the temperature will fall slowly. So every 5 degrees fall in the temperature, you note down the current readings. So here temperature readings are already note down the temperature readings already 85, 80 till 35 degrees, and temperature in kelvins need to plus 273. 85 temperature in degrees centigrades plus 273 gives us temperature in kelvins, and after that reciprocal of temperature 1 by T. Note down the particular current readings, that is current for the particular temperature values. For every temperature reading we have to note down the current readings, that is current I, current I1, I2, I3 and so on till 35 degrees centigrades. After that measure the resistance at the particular temperature. So we have to calculate the resistance at the particular temperature by taking the ratio of voltage upon current. So we will get the resistance in ohms. So when you take the ln RT function, then we will get the final ln RT gives us the resistance of the particular temperatures. So if you get the ln RT, again the same process, we need to draw the graph for this voltage 1.5 volts. So by using this fourth column, that is 1 by T on x-axis, ln RT on y-axis, so ln RT on x-axis and 1 by T on y-axis. So then we will get a straight line. We know that as the temperature changes, the resistance also increases for the semiconductor. So by using that graph, we will get a straight line. That straight line represents the changes in the resistance and temperature. By measuring the slope of that straight line, we will get m value. If you know m value, we can substitute in this formula. The formula is energy band gap is equal to 2 into Boltzmann constant into slope. So the formula is this. This formula is derived from this formula, that is Eg is equal to 2 into k into m is the slope. Slope is nothing but the slope of the graph. So by substituting in that formula, we will get the final. So the result energy band gap of a given semiconductor is will get in this formula by substituting in that. Before going to that, we will discuss some theory points here, as we already know. So energy band gap is a significant property which decides the conductivity of the specimen. As we already know, for any material, energy band gap is the important. It decides the conductivity of the materials. So as the temperature changes, concentration of the charges also changes. So the intermediate values of energy band gap plays a vital role. So the crystalline solids descript energy levels of individual atoms splits to become energy bands to atoms. So this is already we read in the fourth unit, that is how the energy bands will form in the solids. When the neighboring atoms will comes closer, the energy levels overlaps and forms the bands. The band will form. Two types of bands are observed: valency band and the conduction band. The band formed by the valency electrons is said to be the valency band. The band formed by the free electrons is said to be the conduction band. So the energy difference between these two bands. So you can observe here, this is the energy band gap what we are going to calculate. The energy band gap is nothing but the energy difference between this valency band and the conduction band. This energy band gap is different for the different materials. This is different for the silicon, different for the germanium. Silicon is 1.1 electron volts, germanium is a 0.7 electron volts. So this energy band gap plays major role in determining the conductivity of the materials. So if the conductivity changes, if the energy band gap changes, that material becomes as the conductor also from insulator to conductor. So in the semiconductor, we are changing the temperature. To change this energy band gap, we are giving some energy to electrons presence in valency band. That energy is nothing but thermal energy. So we are heating the diode to move the electrons from valency band to conduction band. Due to that thermal energy, the electrons easily jumps from valency band to conduction band. Then what will happen? The energy band gap will be reduced. When the energy band gap will be reduced, then what will happen? The electrons will flow into the conduction band. The electricity, the conduction will start. So depends on the temperature, the band gap values also changes. So temperature variation is important here. By changing the temperature, the conductivity, resistivity of the materials also changes. So here we will observe the, so this is about the first experiment. So we will observe the here the kit, how the kit will present. So the kit is here like this. You can observe here. So this is the ammeter. First one is the ammeter, which will measure the current variation. Here this is the voltmeter when the voltage changes to change the voltage. And here this is the diode, and here this is the thermometer. This is thermometer, and this is the oven. So this is the diode here. This is the oven. This oven temperature can be adjusted using this knob. So this voltage change can be adjusted using this knob, that is set volts. You can connect from here to here. We can connect from voltmeter to ammeter, and ammeter to diode, and diode to here voltmeter. This is already inbuilt connection is there. We can just connect the probes as per the circuit diagram. So here circuit diagram is not mentioned in our lab. Here everything is fixed. We can connect ammeter and voltmeter here, and here also voltmeter to ammeter, and these things are connected to the diode. Voltmeter is connected to the diode, and the ammeter is connected to the diode. And here we have to, we can take the output using the multimeter also. So this is the kit we are going to use. So from this kit we need to measure the current changes and also temperature changes. So we'll go for the some theory points here. This this is the formula also we can use, but we are using the formula 2 into m into k. 2 is the 2 into m is the slope of the graph, and k is the Boltzmann constant. By substituting this, we will get these values. For the silicon semiconductor, we will get 1.1 electron volts. For germanium semiconductor, we will get 0.72 electron volts. So this is the tabular column as I already explained. So this is the model graph what we are having. So reciprocal of temperature and logarithm of the ln RT. So we'll go for the some example. These readings are taken from the Google. So but the same readings we will get here also. So these are the temperature changes. They heated the temperature till 60 degrees only. But in our lab we are going to heat up to 90 degrees. After that they converted into the Kelvin. After that they measured the current in the ammeter. So from that they have taken in microamps, and after that this logarithm of current value will give us this, and reciprocal of the temperature will give this reading. And from that readings they draw the graph. This is the graph of the readings. You can see this log is nothing but ln RT. So from this, they draw this graph on a y-axis, and reciprocal of temperature is on x-axis. This is the graph, and they calculated the slope using y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. So this is the slope they got, that is 4. They substituted in the formula, that is equal 2 into slope into Boltzmann constant. 2 into 4 into Boltzmann constant will give us the uh, value for the semiconductor. That is energy band gap value for the semiconductor. So this is the final result. What is the result here? We need to understand. Here the result is energy band gap in electron volts. We need to calculate the result in the energy band gap in the electron volts. So we need to, while doing the experiment, we need to understand some precautions also. So the following precautions shall be taken. The diode must be reverse biased. It is already in reverse. It is an inbuilt function. Do not exceed the temperature of over 100 degrees centigrade. So while increasing the temperature, it will automatically increase the temperature when you use the heater. But maximum limit is 100 to 120 degrees centigrade. After that, the diode will break down. The voltmeter and ammeter reading should initially be at 0 mark. So we need to first calibrate the voltmeter and ammeter to 0, and bulb of thermometer should be inserted well in the oven. So inserting the thermometer and observing the mercury reading is also important here. Readings of micrometer should be taken when temperature is decreasing. So ammeter readings when the temperature is decreasing is very important. We need to take the micrometer reading, and while the temperature decreasing, it will take a lot of time. While temperature easily decreases till 50 degrees centigrade, after 50 degrees centigrade it will take 1 to 1.5 hour. We need to show some patience while taking the readings, and readings of current and temperature must be taken simultaneously. So at the particular temperature, we have to take the current reading also. Simultaneously we have to take temperature and current readings both. So these are the sample viva questions here. What are the viva questions? What is p-n junction diode? So we have to read from this theory. You can google it, these questions answers. What do you understand the band gap? So as I already mentioned, band gap is important factor for any material to decide its conductivity and resistivity. What do you mean by valency band, conduction band, and the forbidden band? As we already discussed in the fourth unit, you can get the answers. How many types of semiconductors are there? So we know that two types of semiconductors are there, intrinsic and the extrinsic. Intrinsic is nothing but the pure semiconductors without doping. Extrinsic is the impure semiconductors. What are the p-type and the n-type semiconductors? So depends on the type of doping. We are having the two types of doping, that is trivalent impurity doping and the pentavalent impurity doping. Depends on that, semiconductors are divided into the two types, that is p-type and n-type. Define doping and dopant. A process of adding the additional external materials is said to be the doping. The material which is adding, that is said to be the dopant. We are having the two types of dopant materials. Those are the trivalent dopants and the pentavalent dopants. So why the p-type semiconductor is called acceptor? Acceptor is nothing but it is ready to accept the one more electron, and it is having huge number of holes, means vacant spaces in that. So this is said to be the p-type is a acceptor semiconductor. What do you mean by Fermi energy level? So we already discussed this. This is very important. Fermi energy level is nothing but the highest reference energy level which is occupied by the electrons at 0 Kelvin temperature. We already discussed this. What is the position of Fermi level in intrinsic semiconductor? We derived the equation for this. The position of Fermi level in the intrinsic semiconductor, it is exactly in between the valency band and conduction band. What do you mean by forward biasing and reverse biasing? So forward biasing is nothing but connecting the p-type to positive terminal of the battery and n-type to negative terminal of the battery. The charges will flow across the junction. High current flow will be possible. In reverse biasing, p-type is connected to the negative terminal of the battery and n-type is connected to the positive terminal of the battery. Reverse bias is determining the energy band gap. So in the reverse bias, it is very important to determining the band gap of the semiconductor. So in the reverse biased condition, so very few charges will flow from the junction. So the junction is wide, energy band gap is wide. So we can easily calculate that. What is the shape of the graph here? We are observing that shape of the graph is a straight line. Why conductive metal decreases with increase of temperature? As the temperature increases, what will happen? These electrons will face some obstruction in flowing it. So due to that, the metal's conductivity decreases. Why semiconductor increase with increase in the temperature? Increase of temperatures decreases the band gap. Due to that, semiconductor's conductivity increases. Thank you so much. This is about the first experiment. We will go for the second experiment in the next video. Thank you.